Alliance-8 for Operation Chimera. You should be able to knock this one out in a match or two if you have artillery. May take you a few more matches if you don't, and we'll talk about the right tanks to use in just a minute. You need to do 4 times your HP in damage, and win and survive if you want to get the secondary for honors. And this is why I'm using artillery here. Is 4 times your HP is really easy to do because the HP on arty is really low. Now, that shot right there is important. It was a blind fire. Normally, when I'm doing these types of missions, I try not to blind fire because you don't really have a concept of the amount of damage that you've done with that shot, and because the game now provides an in-game mission tracker, according to the mission tracker, I did 0 damage. In fact, I did 292 damage to that Jag. And you're also going to see another blind shot that doesn't really have the same impact here in just a second, but both are important. So I'm going to blind fire at that guy, kill him. Now, I saw his HP beforehand, so it was 892. So that was pretty easy to tell how much damage I did there. So now I'm I don't know, about 1,200 damage, when in fact I only need to do 1,800 damage because I'm at 450 HP to get this mission done. Okay, so I need to do 600 more damage or so to get this mission done. But at this point in the match, I actually didn't know that I hit that Jag or how much damage I did. So, and I also, for whatever reason, I was thinking I needed to do 2,400 damage. I think because I was thinking of the other tanks that I could do this in. So let's talk about the right tanks. Arty is the easiest way to get this done. Even at Tier 9, the Tier 9 American Arty has 450 HP. Means you need to do 1,600 damage. That's a pretty trivial amount of damage for artillery at Tier 9. There are other tanks that you can do this in, though, particularly at Tier 7, that I think can get this done. Probably not as easy as artillery, but you can certainly get it done. One of those tanks is the T-71, the American light tank. I think that has around 800, maybe 840 HP. So you'd need to do 2,400, 2,600 damage somewhere in there to get this done. A good game at Tier 7, you can definitely get that with a light tank if you're good with light tanks. The other tank that I think is really good for this, if you happen to have it, is the T-25/2 Tier 7 American TD. It has 800 HP, and so, again, 2,400 damage. Not impossible for a Tier 7 tank destroyer, particularly if you could just hide in the back and snipe for a bit. So there are other ways to get this done, but artillery is the easiest. Even the Tier 7 or Tier 8 arties, you can do this in. I actually think it's probably the easiest to do this at Tier 9 or Tier 10 artillery. The American Tier 10 artillery has 500 HP, so you only need to do 2,000 damage to get this done. I think I'm already done with the mission. I don't know that I'm already done with the mission, but I think I'm already done with the mission at this point in the match. But again, mentally, I was thinking while I was playing this match, I needed to do 2,400 damage because I was thinking of the T-25/2, which is the other tank I was considering doing this in. But the mission is basically over at this point. But because I got those 2 blind shots, the tracker says it's still incomplete. If you don't have artillery to do this, I think you just need to be patient with your play. This isn't really a hard mission to do. It's more of having the right tanks to do it in. With the T-71, you can easily get this done. And there's probably my final shot of the game that puts me well over the 1,800 damage you need to get this done. But the T25/2 I think is probably the second best tank to get this done in outside of artillery. The T71 is probably the best just because you're so mobile, and you can still put out a significant amount of damage. So in the end, I'll show the victory screen here. Did just under 2,400 damage, so well within the range to complete this with honors because we did win and survive. This is pretty easy if you have artillery, and if you have artillery, I would say use it. This is going to be a 1 or 2 match thing to get this done. As you can see there, I hit a couple targets that weren't visible. It's much easier if you just focus on the visible targets. I'm not a big fan of artillery in general, and my positioning there on Abbey was not really ideal for arty, but it got the job done. But hit the targets that are visible, just so you can keep track. And if you don't have arty, use the low tier lights like the T71. It'll be pretty easy to get done. You could probably even get this done in something like a Comet or a Challenger on the British side if you have to. But artillery is definitely the easiest way to do this. If you have the right tanks, you'll knock this out pretty quick. Good luck, guys.